What are the reasons that you can go today to Egypt? Today, if you go to Egypt, you'll be dead. It's a different story. If the Egyptians won't kill you, ISIS will kill you. You know, now there's a big war between, it's really hard to understand what's happening today in the Middle East. You don't know anymore who is against who. Just a week ago, ISIS and Hamas together attacked Egyptian soldiers and killed tens of them. ISIS and Hamas together. 1 or 2 days later, ISIS blow up five cars of Hamas leaders. You don't know anymore who's who. Abdullah against Muhammad, Muhammad against Saeed. You don't know who's against who.
But how do we intensify this?
You don't really know. So the question is, so Egypt is fighting against the Hamas now, but at the same time against ISIS. And ISIS is against the Hamas also. And also against Egypt. Very confusing what's happening now. Today they published another detail from the brilliant agreement with Barack Hussein and Iran. Wait until you hear this. Last week I told you that would be the weekly joke of the week. Sad joke. Last week I told you that the agreement says that if the allies that wants to come and inspect the nuclear facilities of Iran, they have to give them 24 days notice to give them enough time to hide everything and to take it out. The brilliant Barak. But now it became even worse. You're not going to believe this one. You're not going to, I'm telling you, and I'm going to tell it to you, but I know none of you would believe it, but go and check. One provision in the contract says that if any country, meaning Israel, if any country will attack Iran in the future, will attack their nuclear facility, the 7 allies commit to Iran to defend them military. Meaning United States will fight against Israel to protect the devil of the world that sponsor all the murders and all the terrorism. Look what a shift from being the best friends of Israel to actually officially becoming an enemy of Israel. And bypass the Congress. Because in Congress you have a lot of good people there, pro-Israel. If it would come to their vote, they'll smash it to pieces. So what did he do? Like a snake, went quickly to the UN and made it legal. What would happen? Who knows what would happen? Mamash, he basically gave them the urge to finish their bombs.
What's his logic? Why is he doing this?
I gotta tell you something. Either he's the dumbest person in the history, and for sure the worst president of the history of America, or he's the biggest snake. One of the two, no in between. He's either brainless completely, or he's such a clever snake that we're still not even getting the point how deep is this snake.
Rabbi, there's proof that he is a reincarnation of Seti.
Enough with this shtuyot, no? So now, so the point is, we know, maybe it was all planned. Israel, when we defend you, we'll make it up to you, we look up to your interest. And at the same time, maybe someone convinced him that he is a Muslim, who knows? And he thought it's his mission as one of the Muslim leaders in the world to help Islam take over the world and destroy it. Who knows? I don't know. What do I know?
But what about Allah?
I really know what's in his mind. It's hard to understand what's going on here.
How allies agreed to it? Allies, the other countries.
Not only that, there's another funny things in a contract. There's another funny thing. You don't know if to cry or to laugh. I really don't know. One more thing is that in case that the allies will decide to inspect Iran, everyone is allowed except America. Why? Because Hussein Obama in 1 year would not be the president. The next one may be someone normal. Someone normal. And this normal right away will put Iran back in the enemy list. So they already know it. So what is he doing? He designed it in such a way that America will not be able to go because it's against the contract. You know what? Maybe it's all for good, and I tell you why. Maybe because the contract is so bad, in the end it will cause a war that will take their facilities by power. If the contract was supposedly good, they still would trick you. The Persians are very, very sharp. Very sharp. They knew from day one, they negotiated. You have to understand, they were already destroyed financially, destroyed. I know some Persian Jews here in New York that have relatives lives in Iran. Half of the things they used to do, they cannot do. Bank, wiring. You know that they had hundreds of billions of dollars frozen in America for a few years, and now they're sending it back to them? They were already starving. They were destroyed, mentally destroyed. Everyone hates the government. Everyone hates their life. This stupid agreement sending them back hundreds of billions or maybe trillions of dollars that they have over here that right away will go to terrorism. If you thought you saw terrorism, you wait and see what's going to be now. Plus, they're going to sell oil, which until now they couldn't do because there was an embargo sanction against them. So they're going to make billions of dollars every month from oil. That's it. You're done. All the achievements that you had against them, in 1 minute, Obama canceled everything. Why did he do it? I told you, one of the two possibilities. Maybe it's the dumbest and naive one ever in the history of this country, or is the biggest snake who actually fooled everyone, including himself. That's I don't know. I really don't know how to answer it precisely.
But history repeats itself, right? I mean, Moshe Rabbeinu himself is going to come back.
One thing for sure we know is that Hashem is in charge of everything. We get upset because we now see what Hashem wants. It doesn't make us happy. We see that Hashem is pushing towards the bad prophecies of the Tanakh to come to a horrible, bitter end. Because we're constantly making another step and another step and another step into a disaster. If there was no disaster written by the Jewish prophets in the Tanakh, I would not worry so much. I would count on Hashem to save us from this horrible end. But the problem is that it's written by the prophets. I made a whole film about it in Hebrew, End of Days, in Israel now. It describes exactly how the end would be, based on the Tanakh, not based on our imagination. So if we see in the Tanakh that it's going to be such a horrible end, and now we see in front of our eyes that every week we are closer to that end, it's very scary. If you're not scared, you're not normal. Some people have to get scared here. But there's always the possibility that the majority of the Jewish nation will make tshuva and become Shomrei Shabbat and stop with their nonsense, and Hashem will pull back the plan in the last minute. What's the reason to make such an end? No. We don't know. It's very hard to know. I want you to know one thing. Even when you read the prophecies, you don't know 100%. Not every word there is clear. Some of the words are questionable. What did it mean? For instance, we know that in the end, the Jewish nation will have a salvation. But how many will die from the Jewish nation until this salvation will be, we don't know for sure. It depends how many religious Jews we will have and how many not. It depends on that. If it describes horrible situation, until Hashem will begin with his miracles. How long it would take from the time the war, Gog uMagog, would start until Hashem will come and step forward and begin to defeat the enemies of Israel, we don't know for sure. Maybe a week, maybe a month, maybe a year, who knows, maybe 5 years. Imagine, God forbid, now 5 years of tortures that one after the other. Imagine. Who can even tolerate such thing? We're such spoiled people. A little bit no air condition, we faint. At least myself. Right? The chair is not comfortable. Wow, it's going crazy. The food was not hot. Fire the cook right away. So if we're going to have suffering, we're going to be able to live 5, 6 years with suffering? Even 1 week we cannot live with suffering. Every one of us, those who learn Torah, know that actually suffering is the greatest gift for a person, especially in today's world. Because 100 years ago, when someone received suffering, he wasn't crying about it like a little baby. People were tough. Life was hard. Everything was physical. You want to get water, you have to go to the lake, frozen, ice, bring it, no electric, get woods, chop woods, turn the fire on. You want to take a bath, 5 hours to prepare a bath, pieces of wood, lighting fire, bringing water from the well. Life was very hard. You want to eat, you have to go into the sheep and to, get some milk from them, and then go to the chicken and get some eggs, and until you cook it. It wasn't like today. Yeah? You come, $10,000 oven, press one thing, the fans begin, beautiful. 2 minutes later, you have a meal. Life was hard. People that wanted to wear clothes, they used to make the clothes on their own. What do you think? Like today, thank you, enjoy. Merry Christmas. Sewing and sewing for weeks. Finally, you have one garment, one side red, one side brown. It would last for a long time. Like today people we can spoil. It's enough you look at the supermarkets and you understand how the situation became so much worse by us, how we became so spoiled. Supermarket 30, 40 years ago was the size of a bathroom over there. It was a grocery shop. Whoever heard about supermarket 50 years ago? Supermarket. It was a tiny grocery store. Neighborhood grocery. That's it. 10 items. 10 groceries there. Bread, milk, 2 kinds of cheese, some cold cuts. Hanukkah they bring a donut. That's a treat. Bamba, Bisley, olives, with the buckets like this. And that's it. That was the whole supermarket, I promise you. Nothing else. 15 items, that's it. Today, 15,000 items. More even. There's one Spanish woman from Guatemala. She's a cleaning lady in Muncie. One time she said to the kids, "You're complaining, huh? When I was back in Guatemala, I used to get up 4 in the morning to go to work with my father in a farm until 8. Then go to school until 4 or 5, finish in school, go back to the farm until 10 at night. That's the life we had over there. And over here, I have to take the garbage out.